welcome to Nettie Land. I'm so glad you're here. You know, this is like, what, the third week of the new year. Can you believe it? Well, it doesn't matter, but you know what? Today's really special. So, well, before we get into that, I'm going to tell you, we're just going to do a little potluck today because I've got a whole bunch of stuff going through my head, and that can be dangerous. So, I'm going to tell you why today. 2021 is really a great, great year. It's going to be great, and that's the only way we can look at it, right? Things can change if we're willing to be the light and be the love to other people. So, what I'm going to tell you about today is January 21st, 2021. That's 12121. Well, first of all, it's a palindrome. A palindrome is a word or a number the same forward and backwards. Right, 2021. Well, that's not the palindrome. I guess I can't show you, but 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 is the same forward and backwards. And so if you're born today, whoa, or if you're 21 today. So today is the 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century. Ha! I can't believe that. According to the Farmer's Almanac, 2021 will have 22 palindrome dates, including now in January. The first 10 are now in January, and then we're going to have 9 more in December, from 12/1/21 to 12/9/21. And then we have 3 more. 1/20/2021. That was yesterday. That was inauguration day. 12/11/21 and 12/22/21. Well, happy Palindrome Day and happy 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century. What I like is the palindrome part of this. But I think if you're born on the 21st day of the 21st year of the first whatever, 21st century. 21st, well, that's what, 20, whatever. So anyway, if you're born today, or if you're turning 21 today, how fun is that? Celebrate, but not too much. And just, anyway, a lot of palindromes have been happening in recent times. And there's another way you can look at numbers. And this has always intrigued Nettie because, people talk about numerology and they get all uptight about it because they think it's satanic or something. Well, it ain't. It's not. So I'm going to tell you. When you add up numbers, so we'll just use this one, even though I don't have the day in the month. 2 plus 0 is 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 4 is 5. So then you look up the word 5. And so today when I heard that we had this big palindrome going on, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, I looked it up. And it was kind of fun because what I did is I looked up not the meaning of the palindrome itself, but the meaning of the number 9. So forget the palindrome part because what I did is I took the full day, 1/2/1/2021, 2021. So I've got another 2 in there. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. The number 9. Well, who knows why I just didn't do it the other way. If you do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, that's 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. We're not going to look up 7 because I already did it the other way. And, sometimes there's just a reason we do that. I don't know. So the way I look at numbers... The way I look at numbers is, and the meaning behind numbers is, where might they take me in my ponderings for the day? And of course, I kind of get off track a little bit sometimes, right? But who cares? Well, I looked up the number 9. I didn't look up the number 7, so, sue me. Well, anyway, so number 9 symbolizes divine completeness or conveys the meaning of finality. And in the Christian faith, Christ died in the 9th hour. I didn't kind of know that. 9 represents the fruits of the Holy Spirit, which are faithfulness and gentleness and goodness and joy and kindness and long-suffering and love, peace and self-control. I've talked about that. So here we are. And then, here's another thing. There's a whole list. I Wikipedia'd it, and there's a whole list of all faiths and how the number 9 fits in, and they're all so similar. There's 9 choirs of angels. I didn't know that. I hope I can join one someday. And then, Buddha has it, Buddha. So, this potluck session is just about being aware of messages that come to us. I call the number game that I play. I do it all the time. A number comes up like, look at a license plate or my address or something that's come to me that I figure I have to think about it for a little bit. So the first thing I do is I add those numbers up and I take a look at it. And it actually becomes for me a form of prayer or discernment, because whatever shows up kind of gets me to thinking the way I do. And I wonder, I wonder if this is my God's way of telling me, like, I want you to think about this. Notice I got the fruits of the Spirit again. I always do. There's always one of them I'm sort of lacking in, and that would would probably be self-control most of the time. I know it's hard to believe, but it is. Long-suffering. I haven't really studied that one, so maybe I'm supposed to look at that, but the things that are in the fruits of the Spirit are the things that Nettie tries to get across. Faithfulness and gentleness and goodness and joy and kindness, long-suffering, love, peace, and self-control. That's from Galatians 5:22-23. But the number 9 symbolizes divine completeness or conveys the meaning of finality. What I'm hoping, the reason these were put together for me to ponder is that, maybe 2021 is the year that we're going to kind of complete some things and say goodbye to some things, some finality. But we're going to focus on the fruits of the Spirit. So, I don't think this is a bad thing. I think sometimes God, he just, it's like Hansel and Gretel. He just drops a few crumbs along our way and hopes we follow. And so the crumb today was this palindrome of 1 to 1 to 1. And then me mixing it up and getting the number 9 anyway. Well, that wasn't a mistake. Well, I kind of call those holy breadcrumbs. God just kind of sprinkles the crumbs and knows Nettie's going to follow, especially if it's like brownie crumbs or chocolate chip cookie crumbs. I will. Because, they're these little God nudges. And so if I follow these little crumbs that they're left around, if I'm trying to figure something out and I might be kind of leaving the big guy out, well, he knows how to drop a little breadcrumbs to the place I need to go to make some discernment. That's the truth. And so, not even knowing what I was going to do today, it's like, we've been kind of in this up and down and emotionally in our country, and I've been worried about all the children in the world, but here we are, just because I'm interested in numbers and palindromes, and I even did it wrong. I mean, I should have been looking up number 7, right? 1, 2, I looked up 9, and there he was. He just saw me going the wrong way and took the breadcrumbs and got me back on track. Once I understood that he was leading me back to the fruits of the Spirit, Not only did he confirm that the path I'm on is where he wants me to be right now, and it's honestly the most comfortable place for Nettie to be. So I'm not going to make any detours for now. Well, who knows if he just starts scattering some crumbs one way. There is that one thing. What was that called? The long suffering. I've never really mentioned that one before. I've only done 8 of them. So, homework. It's not that I have faith in the numbers. It's that I have faith that God will nudge me towards the lessons I need to learn. And he kind of does things. He nudges us all differently. Like in a language you understand, and well, food is one of them, but the breadcrumbs, the nuggets of information, he knows that I'm really interested in how numbers work. And so I have faith that he knows what I need to know for the day. And he drops the breadcrumbs so I find it. So today I found fruits of the Spirit. And that helped me decide. I kind of like my hair today. I kind of like working with the fruits of the Spirit and taking this whole new, brand new year and continuing to spread the light. Cookies. So let's go back for seconds at the potluck, because here's my next little sharing today. Well, keep a secret. So, well, on the 18th was my son's birthday, and so I've been making cookies. I've been making cookies to send to him because he's 3,000 miles away. So we're going to talk a little bit about cookies. Well, anyway, he's way across the country, and he had a birthday this week, and I decided to go the old-fashioned route and send some cookies. And he likes funfetti cake and funfetti frosting, and, cake's not going to make it back 3,000 miles away. So I made some funfetti cookies and packed a can of frosting so he can frost his own. And then I put in a few little things, that he does like too. I keep thinking about, well, my computer always says, will you accept these cookies? And every time I do, I never get any cookies. Oh, hang on, man. I'm getting a phone call. Hang on. Hi, Jimmy. It's not a phone call. He's on my Facebook. My face. What is it, Jimmy? It's my iPad. FaceTime. What, Jimmy? What? Oh, he's whispering. He said, cookies have nothing to do with what you eat. It's about letting people see your site, and they take cookies, or they put cookies on my site. Well, isn't that kind of like baiting me or something? Is it baiting me, Jimmy? Oh, Jimmy's my next door neighbor. He's always been the one that helps me with my computer. He's a geek, and he can't be here because of COVID-19, so just a minute. He said he'd explain it later, but he said it has nothing to do with cookies, and don't expect to get it in the mail. Well, Girl Scout cookies. I could accept a few of those. Anyway, I just think that maybe this might be the time to go back and do some stuff like making cookies for somebody and drop them in the mail or put them on their doorstep. And we'll go back to a little bit of last week's lesson. Why don't you make sure that some of the kids in your neighborhood get some of your cookies? Or maybe you do something else better. Maybe you don't like to give sugar and sweets, but, give them a few little healthy snacks. That's okay, too. Popcorn. I love popcorn. Make a popcorn ball. Well, it takes sugar. It doesn't matter. Can you be somebody's neighbor, like somebody who, well, maybe it's an older person. They kind of fit in the same category as the children during COVID. I keep thinking about, there's a lady down the street that I haven't seen for a long time, and if I got to know her better, I'd know if she could have sugar or whatever, or even if she needs a meal once in a while. So that's the way we can be the light right now. And I guess because I'm calling this potluck, I'm just thinking about food. Well, make an extra serving and give it to a neighbor. If you got a couple down the street that they're stuck home cooking for themselves and you're making a big batch, just call them up and say, I'm bringing you over some dinner. And if somebody decides to be nice to you, make sure you accept those cookies. This is a time when we can go back to being the neighbors over the fence, because we can't go into their homes and we can't sit around and shoot the breeze, too close at least. So find a way to be the light with a little help, mow a lawn, get those kids some cookies or something. Look at some older couples that might need some help, or older people on your block. Give them some cookies to accept. Well, the last one is really about our nation and what we're going to do as first responders in love. And let me tell you, I'm feeling patriotic, and I don't want to get into the politics of stuff because, there's ways of talking about what we need to do as a nation without talking policy, without being nasty. We're all Americans living together. And I just kind of think of my mom once in a while when, everybody's blaming everybody else and saying, well, she did, so I can do it too. And, enough is enough is what she'd say. And, you're responsible for your own behavior. And if you want somebody else to behave well, you got to do it yourself. So that got me to thinking, And really, a couple of years ago, I started thinking about my words, my conduct. And it doesn't matter to me who's saying what, as long as it's nice and it's uniting. And I can see that people are ready for that. We're exhausted. I mean, mean, old, nasty words and people not telling the truth. It makes us tired. So I am saying we can either stand united in faith and goodwill and in love and in light, or we can stand united in hate and disgust and blame and bad words. Either way, if you're all doing it together, united in something, people get a lot more tired of being sad and in despair and mean and bullying than they do in being nice. There's a lot of reward for being nice. So what's your choice? I want to be united. And I'm going to stay here as Nettie and just say, okay, guys, united we stand, divided we fall. Or, you know what? When I was a junior high school, I ran for class president, junior class president, and I won. And I that's one of the things I said. United we stand, divided we fall. Come on, get together. Well, I think we had hardly anything to vote on, or I had a platform that wasn't so hot. It was like, that was it. That was basically it. And that means, maybe we can work together, get a social hall together, or we can go have lunch in the social hall, not the nasty cafeteria. Took a year, but we did it. And, we got a problem coming up, and we need your voice. Well, it's the beginning. Unless you're on the debate team, like my good friend is. She's really good. You didn't get into some of that stuff. I did all the social junk. Well, not really. I did other things too, but kindness has always been part of my theme and my motto. And I don't think I've always been so kind. It's easier to preach it than it is to be it sometimes. And so, well, we won't talk about the times. Everybody's that way. Everybody's got something. Even if you don't say it out loud. My mom said, you're still guilty if you're thinking it. Well, maybe not in action, but if you're still thinking the mean stuff, you got to work on it. You got to turn it around. And so as we go forward now, it's January 21st, 1-2-1-2-1, and it's time to begin our year, to begin the year with goals to help those who are isolated, to help those who are sad, to pull together your own family and set some goals for being together on Zoom, or just talking about how we're going to advance as human beings and how we're going to be good examples for our children. Even if your kids aren't watching the news with you, they are affected by the negative that you take away from that. It instills in us this feeling of, well, it just takes root. We're trying to let light and love take root so that can push out the darkness. And if you are in a place where you need to discern what's going on in the world and it's pretty negative, find a quiet spot. Think about that. Go to the beach. Take a walk outside. Look up some numbers. Really, find a positive way to think about what's going on and choose to do whatever it takes to get you in a place of doing something about it. Even if you only start in your own home. Distract yourself with something good. If you're really, really mad, go make those cookies for Mrs. Jones down the street. Or take the children down the street some colored crayons and a color book. Remember the children and remember the elderly. Help them become part of the united family of love and light. Help them be the light. Help them see the light and help them to be the light by being the light. But first, get your light shining bright. So this breadcrumb led me straight to watching Amanda Gorman give her poem yesterday. She recited a poem. I mean, she recited it so well for the age of 22, but she wrote it. And you know she had to be inspired. She's been following those holy breadcrumbs for a long time. Sort of like she channeled Maya Angelou a little bit, you know. This little spunk in her, she was on fire. And those words have become uniters. Really, I mean, being inspired to watch inauguration a week after all the gunk happened last week, well, and then to get this gift. And there it was. As she read it, I wanted to stand up and jump and dance. I was so excited because she was like a cheerleader from heaven. That's how Nettie felt. And then at the bottom of the speech, the last 3 lines. For there is always light, if only we are brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it. So Nettie loves being the light. And I love reminding you to be the light. And here's a young little girl reminding Nettie to be brave. To be brave, to be brave enough to see it. There's not a whole lot more to say other than be the light. Be brave enough to see it so that you can be brave enough to be it. She says it's so much better than Nettie. And remember that when you see somebody, your goal is to be a first responder in love. If you can't, zip it. All right. That's potluck for today. Always remember how much I love you. Bye-bye. You know, if you want to see more of these educational videos from Nettie, if you subscribe, then Nettie will be around for a long time. Well, please subscribe.